This is the Hotty Toddy Chat brought to you by HottyToddy.com. My name's Jack Couch.
With sports writer Adam Brown.
And intern Ryan Hunt.
Today we're going to look at the Rebels going to Charlotte to face the Mississippi Bulldogs in a 3-game series. Just to basically two teams that are basically mirror images of each other at this point in the season. So, what's y'all's take on this weekend?
Well, we need our pitching to do well, obviously. And that's one of the big problems that we have right now is that we're just running out. And it hurts that we play Memphis and Alcorn this week going into state. So our bullpen's even smaller than it should be. And, we're going to have Daugherty out there on Friday, I assume. And I assume that we're going to pitch Rivas right after. And then, Friday I could see anything happening. I mean, we could throw anybody out there just because we're not having the output that we really want right now. And that's something that's really going to be a game time decision is what I see. Just whoever's feeling good, whoever's feeling positive about it. And that's the big thing going into the state is that this is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. This is baseball. I mean, we're going to go down there and we're going to give them the fight because this is the fight for the worst team in the SEC. We need to win this. If we're the worst team after this, I mean, if we don't sweep this weekend, we're going to be in a lot of hurt for the rest of the season.
I mean, to go off that, I mean, you're going to have a situation to where you may not sweep against state because, I mean, it's state, it's Super Bowl weekend.
It's a rivalry.
Series, but you need 2 out of 3. But looking back at Tuesday night's game against Memphis, we had several opportunities to
break away
and win that game. I mean, this Kemp Alderman just killing the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't blame it on the bats. It's just we had good pitching and everything was going good, and it felt like there was a shift in our momentum. And I don't know what it was, if it was our bats or if it was, our pitching not doing well. And that's such a killer about our bats. Our bats are some of the best in the nation. Anybody can agree with that. We have great hitters every time we're able to perform batting. But our pitching I feel like just ruins our motivation and ruins what we're trying to build as a team. And hopefully with getting Elliott back, we can move the bullpen around a little bit more. But we're just so thin. That's what really kills us right now. And going into this weekend, we just really need to hit, lights out. We're looking to Kemp. What I really need is Shania to do something this weekend. If we're going to keep him in, he either needs to field like he has been really well or feel better than he has been even because he hasn't been fielding as good as he has been in past years. And we really need him to get a hit. He's batting even less than I think it's .25 in SEC play. That's ridiculous. We need him to go and do something with his bats right now because right now it's like, oh yeah, let's throw 3 strikes down the middle. He'll swing at all of them, and guess what? He's not going to make any contact, and that's the big problem right now.
I think this is must win. I mean, it's kind of getting to that stage of the season where this is must win. You saw what happened last year when we went to Baton Rouge and won. The momentum switch for the team, the confidence boost. Well, they said because before that LSU game last year, I mean, we were looking the same as this year. We were looking like, are we even going to go to the SEC tournament? Are we even going to do anything? And we won those 3 games, and you just saw this huge momentum shift. And so I think it's the same thing for this week against State. If you can go in there and you can win 2 and then maybe 1 really close loss or even sweep, that's going to give this team momentum. This team is not a bad team. The record does not reflect on how good this team is and what our hitting can do. With guys like Kemp Alterman and Jacob Gonzalez and Peyton Chatagnier. And so I think that, we win this game and it could open up a lot of doors for the Rebels for the rest of the season.
I agree with all that. It's just to the point now to where, if you don't do this and you don't want to look ahead to the future. But mathematically, it's now.
Yeah, it's now or never.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of why this rivalry game is going to be so important. And, we've been on this, I hate to call it a losing streak, but it's a losing streak for most of the year now. And this is the time where I've been talking about it for the past 3 weeks. We need to step up. And we need a series where we can step up and be like, hey, I know that we're bad. well, we're going to make a fight for this. And we're the, reigning national championships. We need to defend our honor a little bit about this. And that's the whole problem that we're having right now is we're not having that turnaround series that we need. And this weekend needs to be it. We're going to have that turnaround series. We're going to be able to, we're going to hit like we have been. And what we need some pitching to step up. If some pitching steps up, I feel like we're going to be way ahead of par.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the whole deal. Looking at Elliott maybe coming back, not this weekend, but against LSU. And then we'll have a pretty decent bullpen. Everybody's had practice on starting a night. And now that we have that kind of practice in, we have guys like Sonia who can come in as backup. We have guys like Cole Ketchum who's been pitching lights out on weekdays. I really feel like he's going to get his weekend start pretty soon, especially if, even behind Elliott, he's been killing it. And it's all about putting these freshmen and these sophomores who haven't had a lot of experience. They now have the experience that they need to perform. So now we're just going to try to move around and make sure our bullpen's going to be set up for LSU. And that's kind of where we got to move. But this weekend is the must-win weekend. We turn around, hey, we're here. We're not as bad as State. State's a terrible team this year. And I understand that our record doesn't reflect how we've been playing. And we've been winning most of the games very close. We haven't been blown out like State has, and that's just something that nobody's accounting for because of our record looks so bad. But this is the weekend where we're going to turn it around, and we play a lot of the teams in the bottom half of the SEC coming up besides LSU. We have LSU, and that's really it. Then we play Missouri and Georgia and Auburn, who I think they're all very beatable teams. Is it going to be closer than I'd like? Yes, but that comes with baseball, and it comes with us not being able to have a bullpen right now.
Oh, I definitely agree because, it's one of those situations where, like you said, rivalries mean something the way you're going to, just you can throw the record out the window because these two teams.
Yeah, you look at the Egg Bowl or something like that, and even like the Iron Bowl. Yeah. That's something that it's always up in the air. And on top of that, this is baseball, where everything can change in just one inning. One at bat can change the entire game, and that's something that you just have to deal with here. And that's why I'm so excited about this weekend. I'm going down personally myself to go and see because I really do think that we're going to sweep this weekend. I really do think that somebody's going to be like, hey, no, this is the time. I'm making my statement, and we're doing this. And I can see our batting can continue the way it is and just be really that good. And then on top of that, I can see Daugherty being like, okay, that's it. I'm going to pitch. I'm going to pitch well. This is our one. If I'm going to win one game, I'm going to beat State. And that's our mindset should be in here. If we don't win another game this entire season, if we sweep State, I'm going to be okay with that. I don't care. It's just this is a rivalry game. We have to win this. We cannot disappoint both our fans, disappoint our team, disappoint our record. This is a rivalry game that we have to win. And we're going to win. There's no doubt about it in my mind that we're going to go and win this weekend.
Yeah, and like you said, I think you just need the leaders on this team to step up. This is probably the most hostile environment that these young guys have played in so far in their entire lives. You got these guys who won a national championship last year who have been in those big environments, who have played in these big games, who have played at State before. I think you see these older guys step up, take more of a leadership position, and even if they're not playing well, they're being a leader in the dugout. They're being a leader, on and off the field for these younger guys, even if it's not their season. So I think it's going to be a real weekend to see what those guys do, if they can make an impact on the field and off the field.
And I agree with that. I really just want to put somebody in the spotlight, which is Gonzo, who I am truly loving right now. And if y'all didn't get to see the game this past weekend, but on Saturday night, sorry, I forget it's Easter, I'm all thrown off. But Saturday night, he pulled Shania into the dugout. And he went after him. Yeah. And that's something that he might not be the guy that's going to yell at you and tell the media what's going on, and what this is and what we need to do. But he's going to show and put his emotions and what he wants to do on the field, which is awesome. I love him being on the field like that and showing the emotion, getting after his own teammates and being like, hey, this is it. And you're blowing it for the whole team. Come on, let's get together. And he's showing that, and he's becoming this leader. Mm-hmm. He's being able to hit. He's being able to field. He's being able to hype up his team. And it's not by being the loudest guy on the field. It's by showing that he's the best on the field, and he's going to be the best. And that's the team that we have. We're the best. And we just have to put it out there.
to me, it's like Gonzo has always been a very
Quieter.
quieter player. Showed it on the field, but now it's actually actually being more on the field, off the field type of a leader.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome about, and even you look at the leaders, they're stepping up,
Yep.
which is awesome. And we saw that against this Memphis game, and that was a close game. And that hurts our souls, and there's nothing we can do about that. In the end, the pitching just wasn't good enough to beat them, and that happens. And I get it; it's a midweek game. This is an SEC play, and we're saving our pitchers for SEC play, or at least I hope we are. But you look at, yeah, shows us how low our bullpen is that we're joking about that. But you look at Kelvin Harris, who's stepping up. I mean, you got to think he's never catched a day in his life in the SEC, and now he's being
everyday starter.
Yeah, he's a starter. He's being able to hit well, like he always has. And he's being able to step up to the plate, be like, hey, I'm the new catcher. I'm going to be the leader. And every time, for me, I'm getting that sense of Elko in him. I'm just like, when he steps up, I'm like, I know he's going to do something. If not, he's going to fire up the team. And he's never the guy who's going to go swing and strike out. And he's taken over that role of, he's the man right now. And that's kind of what I feel. I'm starting to feel that from Alderman, who I didn't think I was going to feel that from at all. And Alderman steps up the plate and they're like, all right, let's play, Thunder Heavy Rain, let's get going, let Big Country eat. Like, we're going to get that going.
I mean, going off of that, just looking at Alderman, he is a future MLB player.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you look at these guys, you look at Harris, and you look at Gonzo, and you look at Alderman, and you look a little bit at Shanye if he can figure some things out, and these are MLB players who are playing at a highest level, and it feels like, I hope that they don't feel like they're getting stuck, because they're not. They're figuring it out, and this happened last year. You look at our team last year, we were doing terrible in SEC play, and then, again, like you said, we went down to LSU, and we had it going. And that's what I feel like this weekend's going to be for us. Going down to state, one of our big away games, our rivalry game, and putting our foot down. And that's what we should do. And I'm really excited this weekend for us to show us what we're made of. Because this weekend defines our season. Yeah. And that's why I just think that this weekend has to be it, and it's going to be it.
Oh, I agree. Let's switch gears and just look at a little bit about the NFL draft coming up. Because, we have 5 players who
could go
very high.
Yeah, it's looking like Mingo's going 18th overall as a number 3 wide receiver. And from his pro day even, you just see him moving up and moving up and moving up. I've been watching ESPN and I've been watching Yahoo Sports, and all they are is talking about him and how he compares to our other studs that are out there, like Brown and Metcalf, and he just looks like this guy who's just going to be a stud as soon as he comes out the door.
He could also be winding up with the Cowboys, which would be really
which would be good for some and bad for others.
Yes.
But.
And you saw what he could do 2 years ago with Matt Corral.
Exactly.
He was. Let's not lie. He was the best receiver on that team.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even close. He was incredibly good. And these NFL guys, when they're looking at him, they're looking at when they get him in the weight room and they put 20 pounds of pure muscle on him, and he's gonna be looking like DK and AJ Brown by the time he's done. So you got his speed, you got his agility, you got his movement, his strength, his catching ability. I wouldn't be surprised if he went closer than 18th or less than 18th.
I can see him going way earlier too, and he looks like a Kyle Pitts to me.
Absolutely.
And he's not even a tight end.
Right.
He is shifty. He can get downfield. He's going to be able to block like anybody's business. Mm-hmm. All I go back and think about DK running down that defensive back after the interception.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's Mingo. And Mingo has that passion in him that you see everywhere. And that's something great about this offseason is that I never really felt like I saw that passion. And it feels like he's just coming out and he's being like, hey, I'm going to be the guy. And whatever team you put me on, you give me a quarterback, you give me somebody that's going to throw to me, you give me anything, I'm going to be able to block. I don't care. I'm going to get in the game. I'm going to make some plays. And even if it's blocking for a running back, even if it's tight end, which I could see him playing, he can be a stud anywhere on the field, which is awesome. He's just that athletic.
And especially if the Cowboys, if that's who he's projected to go, look at their wide receiving core. They got a great young wide receiving core, so that he's going to learn so much, and you're going to see him turning from a rookie to a superstar, I think, very, very quickly.
Yeah, and what's crazy to even say about that is that he's going to be a wide receiver 2 on that team.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, anywhere. If he's a wide receiver 2, he's going to be a slot. He's going to be shifty. He's going to knock some heads around right in that.
Yep.
I can't wait. It's like it's like when you have Troy Polamalu and you try to blindside him.
Right.
It's just that's not going to happen. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome. So let's switch gears. I'm really excited about Nick.
Yeah.
Nick looks awesome.
He does.
And you look at his, combine and him being able to go side to side just as quick as Mingo.
Right.
That's something crazy on alignment.
It
Is
is.
that his side to side is what do you call it? I'm saying side to side, but
It hits box.
yeah, the box drill. But he was able to go just as quick as Mingo was. He is almost 50 pounds on Mingo. Big dude, can block every day. And then they're projecting him in the second round right now, which I think is very fair. I don't think that he's going to be the top of his, but I think he'll be in the top 10 of the offensive line. And on top of that, he's such a dimensional player. And he can play guard, center, and tackle. He's played all 3 for Ole Miss, and every single time he's been able to excel. And you go and look. I went and looked on the circle the other day, and you see that, oh yeah, his thing, run left. It's right on his brick in the Walk of Champions, which is so awesome that he just enveloped his own motto, and he's going to be that guy, and he's going to be great. And again, they're going to put him in the weight room, and they're going to gain 20, 30, 40 pounds and put him, you're going to be like, okay, you can play this and this and this. Where do you feel comfortable? He goes, left tackle. Let's say left tackle, sure. All right, well, we're going to do this and this for you, and we're going to put you in. If we need to roll you out, you might be a rotational player.
Right.
And that's fine. And that's how he's going to start out, and he's going to be that stud that nobody thinks about.
Right.
And he's going to get to that level where he's going to be one of the most impressive NFL linemen pretty much anywhere.
I agree, because in 2 or 3 years down the line, you might see him as a every down tackle, every down guard.
Exactly, and that's something that you have to go with age and gaining that weight and having that, professional level weight room in you, and that's something that not a lot of people have right out of college, which is fine. He has that skill and the talent and the smarts to just do it all, and that's what's awesome.
And I think he has the drive too.
Oh,
I mean,
he does.
They're gonna love him in that locker room with that leadership ability and those kind of things. But I mean, he may not be the first offensive tackle drafted, but I mean, in a couple of years, I think he'll be the best offensive tackle coming from that draft. I mean, his ability to move and his ability to play all the positions, I think is something that you're not seeing as much anymore. And so I think you're gonna absolutely love it. Some GM's gonna absolutely love him. And he's gonna get paid a lot of money for his ability to play all 3 positions and move at the ability that he can.
So I think the next one, if anybody has anything else, but I think next one's AJ Finley.
Oh yeah,
who
definitely.
is the biggest sleeper pick of the entire draft. That kid is one of the smartest people I've ever met on the Ole Miss campus. He is taking a graduate level finance and making straight A's. This kid is smart. He is driven. He is a given leader. I mean, he is one of the best, he is one of the smartest, best, most athletic people I've ever met. And that's saying something. I've met Malik Keith, I've met Mingo, I've met Dart, I've met all those players. I think he is one of the smartest people I've ever met on this campus. And that's saying something. And he's able to, you watch him and all his tapes, and he's like, okay, no. This is what we're changing. He'll audible the defense, and he'll move everybody around. On top of that, he can play rover, he can play linebacker. I know that you can go put him at corner. He has a speed for that, and he has a smartness to help change everything around. And on top of that, he can be the quarterback of the defense. You put him at free safety, he sees everything. That's what I love about him, is he's able to defend. He might not have the speed that people would want, but that's fine. Put him in at linebacker. Put him in at a rover. And that's something that's a minute detail that people are against.
He might not have the size for a linebacker.
Yeah.
But he has the wherewithal.
Oh,
as a
exactly.
linebacker.
And you look at these linebackers who are shifty and can go make those tackles and can get dirty in the middle, and he has all of that. I could see him. He's been rushing right down on a rat draw. He'll go around the corner and get. He's made, what did he make? 6 interceptions this past year, and 2 forced fumbles. And one of the forced fumbles was against Will Levis, one of the top quarterbacks this year. Everybody talks about how good he is, how shifty he is. when A.J. Finley can have a forced fumble against you and 2 sacks as a free safety, that's saying how good he is and how well he can read a defense. And he moves people around, and he's able to have that. And they're projecting him to go in the 5th, 6th round. I think he goes way higher.
Go third. I think go either late second or third.
That's what I'm thinking too. And that Mel has him really late, and people have him late. And I think that he's the biggest sleeper pick of the entire draft. He is one of those guys that's going to make a difference instantly on your team.
Well, I mean, okay, let's play this out for a minute. If he does go 5th or 6th, does he not go play Canadian football, play something for a year to show his stuff, to get onto an NFL roster the following year?
You can, but I think he has a skill if he just goes. I think if he does go 5th and 6th, he has a skill to go and prove himself.
Right.
He goes to summer and he goes, hey, I'm the guy. I'm this smart. This is what I do. I am an athletic. I'm a monster. I will be a monster on your field.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll play second string no matter what happens, no matter where he gets drafted. If he's a free agent, he's going to be second string at the worst. I think that within 2 years, he's going to be one of the best, well-known free safeties on the entire NFL draft.
I mean, it's one of those situations where within 2 years, you're looking at him having a better contract than he does.
Oh, completely agree.
As a rookie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to have at the most, I think he's going to have a 2-year deal. They're not going to sign him to a massive rookie contract, no matter what. He's not a first rounder, and that's okay, and that's not everybody, not only 36 are first rounders.
Right.
This guy is a stud, and that's what's going to be awesome. I really hope that, I'm a Falcons fan if anybody didn't know, but I hope the Falcons get him. Falcons really need some help on defense, and you look at all these teams that have really poor defenses right now, and I feel like that's unable to change the play on the field. And they're looking at somebody like Finley, and they go, yeah, you're the guy. You can change it on the field, and you can work that out. And that's what's going to be awesome about him, is that he just has that switch in him that he can turn on, and he's going to be able to make plays, and he's going to be able to make things happen, which is awesome.
And I think you were mentioning his smart. I mean, his football IQ that'll switch to it. It's so good. I think that's his, like you said, his speed, his height might not be there, but his football IQ, knowing what to do. I mean that's the most impressive part about his game. So some NFL GM's gonna look at him and realize that potential and see what he can do. And I think that he's going to be a terrific NFL player. And I think that, a lot of teams are going to regret passing up on him when they realize, he might not be the biggest, but he's so smart and he knows exactly where to be and what to do. And so that's going to help him out in more ways than anything else.
I mean, I think it was one of those situations where at the Shriners game, he actually showed NFL scouts, coaches, hey, look, I'm the real deal.
Yeah, and on top of that, you look at his Alabama games on top.
Yep.
I mean, you look at Alabama, you look at Auburn, you look at Kentucky,
LSU.
you look at LSU, exactly. All of those teams are top-tier teams with players going, best quarterbacks in the draft right now. You look at best running backs, best wide receivers. All of those teams that I just named have the best.
Mm-hmm.
And he competed and dominated every single one. You look at Bryce Young.
Yep.
He was able to read Bryce Young. That's one of the shiftiest, most high IQ players in this draft. He should be number 1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not CJ, he'll be number 2. And that's just
Will
something
be
that you
number
just
three,
go.
or do you see Will being number 3? Or?
I see Will being number 3 in the draft. Quarterback, I should say.
Over AR?
Yeah, I really do think so.
I do. Yeah.
I think Florida's just doesn't have. I don't think he has that twitch, and he didn't perform well at Florida most of the time.
I don't think he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the draft.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I think
it's just one of those
I
situations.
think Stetson Bennett goes before him.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah, no, Stetson has that IQ, and that's what's great about him. He's calm. He has the IQ. He can perform, and you look at guys like Mac Jones, who's not one of the most athletic.
No.
You look at him, and he's the calmest person on the field.
Absolutely.
He knows how to perform under pressure, and he knows how to make things happen. And who can do all that? Stetson Bennett. And you look at Florida. You look at, what's his name? AR, right?
AR.
And every time he gets emotional. He's an athletic freak, yes. But anybody can go throw around in shorts and t-shirt. You look at, Zach Wilson this past year at BYU. He went it through. He had the best pro day out of everybody.
Yeah.
He can't stay calm on the field. He can't stay calm in the locker room. He's not able to perform at that level.
I mean, nothing against AR.
No, nothing. He's a monster of an individual.
A great quarterback.
Yeah.
it's just one of those situations after the Utah game.
Yeah.
We were saying that he's going to win the Heisman, and it's just
No, and he just
yeah.
I feel like he's not at that level of. It's nothing against him. He's one of the most athletic quarterbacks I've seen
Right.
come through the draft in a long time. But you look at Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, all these people, Stetson Bennett on top of all of them, can stay calm in a national championship game when you're down by 20 in the semifinal. He's able to stay calm, you're able to perform, and you're able to get back to where you're going to be able to win a game. And that's what's so important about these quarterbacks in the NFL is staying calm. Look at Dak. I know Dak had a terrible season, and that's something that's really bad. But you look at him just be calm in the pocket, be able to make sure he's able. And I know he didn't throw well, but this is probably a really bad example. But he's able to stay calm and make plays happen. Even though, I mean, I know how bad it was, and that's probably a really bad example. What's
It's one of those situations
Yeah.
where
Joe Burrow. How about
Joe
that?
Burrow.
Yeah.
But let's take that for a second. You brought this up.
Yeah.
I can talk about this. It's one of those situations to where we always know that we'll do fine in the early season.
Yeah.
What will we do in playoff situations?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something that you've got to look at as a high caliber quarterback. You look at, how about this? As an Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, and Michigan. All of those quarterbacks are, you would all say that those are top quarterbacks that go into the draft.
Yeah.
Every single one of them's calm under pressure and has been to the point where those stadiums are louder than most NFL stadiums. And you go and look at playoffs, Joe Burrow, I mean, he's cold, he is not emotional, he'll make jokes on the side, but I mean, he is one of the most collected people, and he's able to perform. And you look at 2 years ago when he went to the Super Bowl, he had an under par team with him.
I
No
did.
offense to, everybody else on that team, it's just they were not the most skilled team on paper.
No.
But he's able to stay calm, make sure his team's calm, be able to call a play and make things happen. That's something that I look forward to, and that's why I don't see AR going so high in the draft.
I mean, I think Stetson Bennett is like a Josh Allen.
Completely agree.
I mean, it's one of the situations where Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Yes,
And Stetson Bennett is right there with him.
I completely agree, and we just have to see how he does this next season and how it works with the height difference and the speed difference, and that's a transition for everybody.
Right.
But I think it's one that he's going to be able to be like, hey, I went to the University of Georgia. I'm getting expert help on NFL. I had 2 national championship wins. He has that resume to be like, hey, yeah, I'm one of the best. He might not go first overall, or he might go 4th in quarterbacks. But you look at Rosenwood above Allen. He's one of those guys that's going to be, oh yeah, we forgot about him. He's going to be a stud. If he goes to somewhere like the Falcons or the Jets or the Colts, I can see him having a starting position within the year.
Well, I mean, let's go back and look at how the same year Eli came out.
Exactly.
You had Big Ben come out.
Yeah.
And Big Ben is still
The star, and he
yeah.
was the stud, and all of that. But you look at Eli, and he has all the factors that I'm mentioning right now.
Right.
And that's just something that he had. He had the, I don't want to say emotional maturity, but he had the intensity where he's able to be, hey, we're not out. This is football.
Right.
We're going to be able to make things happen. We're going to sit still. We're going to be able to call our plays and make things happen. And that's something that you look at Eli, you look at Matt Corral even. These are people that are able to stay. Matt Corral gets a little bit more emotional, I should say.
Yeah.
But these are people that are able to hold it together in the tough times.
Right.
And, we haven't seen Matt in a year.
Oh.
And since he got hurt in IR.
He was there last night. It's a long
Yeah.
story, but
Yeah. But he, you have these people in the NFL that you just go like, yeah. So that's why I don't see AR going as high in the draft. Long story short.
Yeah, and I think you never know. I mean, these guys.
Exactly.
I think he's the most athletic quarterback
Agreed.
in the draft.
Completely agree.
So you get him in there with those coaches and stuff, and he's young. Let's not. He's still a young kid. We treat these guys like they're 40-year-old adults, and they need to be the most mature and financially responsible. So, I think they'll work on his maturity, but I think you never know. I mean, let's look in the past years. Some of the best players in the draft, some of the best players in the NFL. Sorry. Were 1-stars out of high school. Went to nobody colleges, and now they're making millions and millions of dollars and playing for Super Bowls. So I think you never really know. I think it just depends on what, who his head coaches, who his quarterback coaches, what team, what kind of style of play they like to run. Because I don't think he would, if he, let's say, I mean, Mac Jones is the quarterback, but he wouldn't perform well at a team like the Patriots. That's not his style. But, you know, you look at someone like, let's say, Lamar Jackson goes somewhere else, and the Ravens trade up and get Anthony Richardson. That's his style of play. That's a place, and that's a team where he would succeed very, very well, and I think. I mean, I think it just kind of depends on, you know, you never know what these guys can do and what they can learn and how they can mature.
Yeah, I agree.
If he goes to Baltimore and plays behind Lamar for a year or two,
right?
I think that would be very beneficial for him.
I completely agree, but you know, most teams are also just not like that.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I've been like, okay, yeah, if they trade up and get him, that happens. If Baltimore gets a quarterback, he's their guy. I completely 100%. And if that happens in the first round, then yes, he will go higher in quarterbacks. But I just don't see him. I see him falling to the second round. And it's nothing against him.
No,
I
got you.
Yeah.
When you look and you go, let's, C.J. Stroud and then, Bryce Young. Number 1, number 2, flip-flop, you can see whatever. I can see them go.
Will and Bryce.
You think Will before? I think
Yeah. Just from having so many scouts here when we played them, when we played Kentucky, and they're like, that's the real deal. Right there.
And he's a great quarterback.
He is.
He is a great quarterback. And
He can
coming
lose
out,
hurt, but
well, and that's what killed that team last year is that he got hurt playing us, and we just feel like we just crushed their spirits, which was awesome for us.
Yeah.
That was a great win.
Yeah.
But
special teams.
Yeah, special teams crushed. But that's just how it is, and I'm excited for the draft coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, back here with Alyssa Snug with our news. Alyssa, what do we have going on in the news this weekend?
Well, we had some good news this past week with the Mississippi legislators, or Mississippi Department, announcing that they received $15 million to start on the widening of Highway 7 South, which has been something that people have been wanting to see for quite some time. Back in, several years ago, they brought it up about doing the project. They even bought the land that they needed, the right-of-ways, and then they just dropped it. It was about 11 years ago, and then they hadn't heard anything since. So this money, even though it's a lot of money, 15 mil for you and me, for road projects of this size, it's not a whole lot. So really, that's just going to pay to get the job ready to get it to be bid out in about a year. So that's like design work, moving some utilities. But like the Oxford Chief Operating Officer Bart Robinson said to me was that, the most important thing is that it shows that they're finally ready to start. And maybe once the project is ready to bid out next year, the legislator will be like, okay, let's up the ante, as Bart put it, and put in some more money, because the project is estimated to cost $150 million.
So with it costing that amount of money, how long would it take for them to finish?
Probably many, many years. So it'd probably be done in sections and whatever. But eventually it'll get done. And then we want to say congrats to about 140 University of Mississippi students who are welcomed into the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society mission. Well, they will be tonight, is the ceremony. And we will be running their names on Hotty Toddy News in each school, on our social media sites. It's kind of a big deal, obviously. And these students are some of our highest performing academic students. So
and that will start running in the morning at 9 a.m. Well, the person will go out with their story
tonight, yeah, and then then the individual schools, I think,
Right.
starts running on Friday. So, congrats to them. And we have some exciting stuff coming up. This is what I call the calm before the storm. It's a quiet week in April. Our weather is quiet. Everything is nice and sunny and happy. And next week, it's all going to hell.
Yep.
No, not so bad. But it's going to start getting, or traffic maybe. Traffic
Right.
might be. But it's going to get busy because, next weekend, 22nd, 23rd, we have our country music star Morgan Wallen's going to
Right.
be here performing 2 concerts in a row. That
LSU weekend for baseball.
yeah, LSU weekend. So the University of Mississippi's put out some information. I'm not going to read it all. It is available on our website, hottytoddy.com. It's also on the Ole Miss website. But they're going to basically manage the campus like a football game day.
For all 7 days?
Though this will be for that weekend, but
Okay.
you are starting the
16.
16th. Thank you. They are closing Lot A, the Athletics Administration, and the Manning Center parking lots.
Right.
So those won't be available starting the 16th, and
What about
that will run
road-
through the 24th.
What about that road between there, off of Gertrude Ford to between the vault and the tennis and the track?
Don't see anything specifically about that.
Okay.
Just about they're closing the parking lot. I don't see, but you can go online. They have all this there on the Ole Miss website. You are going to need a permit to park that weekend. If you're an employee, but the deadline for that was April 10th. So hopefully, if you work on the weekends, on campus, you've gotten your permit. Access to campus will require a parking permit issued specifically for that weekend to attend the concert and the baseball game. So it's going to be pretty tight. You're going to have to find closing, just like football games, outside of campus. Campus is basically shut off to the general public. However, the student union is going to be open on both days, and so from 10 to 8. But the pavilion and the restaurants will be closed to the public from the 21st through the 24th.
Okay.
And then we have Double Decker, of course, coming up the week after, the 28th and the 29th. It's a 2-day show. Friday, it starts around 6:15. And all this happens on the square. The stage is there on North Lamar. Parking is shut down. We've got the Chapel Heart ladies that will be there Friday night, along with the Stews and the headliner, Ashley McBride. And then Saturday, it starts at 10 a.m. Well, actually, it'll start at 7:30 with the spring 5 and 10K run that kicks off the Saturday morning. And then the fair on the square starts at 10 a.m. And then there's music all day long. People like the Mississippi Jazz Ensemble, Lissy, Blackberry Smoke, and then our headliner Saturday night is Marcus King. And there'll be more, probably go into more detail next Thursday about that, and groving and when not to park on the square, because if you park past a certain time,
You'll
they're
be
gonna,
towed.
they'll tow your car. Weather this weekend, we do have about a slight chance of rain tonight, mostly before 10. Tomorrow will be partly sunny. That's on Friday with a high of 75. Be very nice. Saturday we do have a chance for some storms. Right now it's a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 1. Partly sunny with a high near 81. Saturday night, however, there's a 60% chance of showers and possibly thunderstorms, which could be severe. Right now, we're only in a slight rating for severe weather, but knowing how Mississippi is, that could change 15 times between now and Saturday. So keep weather aware, keep your eye on the weather report, have ways of getting notifications, because the storms have been pretty bad, obviously, so far this year, and sudden. So,
But hopefully the freezing temperatures have left us. For the
oh
rest
yeah,
of the year.
I think the severe cold, although will bring in another little minor cool front, so it'll feel a little cooler, just like it is this today and yesterday, which has been glorious.
Right.
So it'll be in that low 70s, high 40s, low 50s at night. Super nice, perfect weather. At least for a couple of days. Sunday and Monday will be real nice. And then Monday on Hotty Toddy, we'll look ahead for the week. And hopefully, the next 2 weekends' weather is going to be great.
Yeah, I hope so, because with all that's coming up, and all the people coming to town, you just hope for the best weather that we have in town. So,
I remember one year it was a Hotty Toddy weekend, and they had forecasted, it was maybe, 4 or 5 years ago, they had forecasted awful weather. There was going to storm, tornadoes, just like in the last couple of weeks here. We've had, a number 4 on a severe, like it was just really,
Right.
really bad. But the organizers just, they're like, this is Mississippi, it could skip us. And man, it did.
Yeah.
And it looked awful. It was gray and it was windy. But I don't think one drop of rain fell, and it just passed right over us. So you never know.
You never know.
Fingers crossed. Mother Nature, hopefully she's feeling the love of Oxford for the next couple of weeks.
Yep. Well, we appreciate it, and we'll catch you next week. Just stay tuned to HottyToddy.com.
Bye.